Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy. So this is just like a quick little video, I guess, just kind of updating you guys on what's happened in case any of you accidentally missed what was happening. But I did recently tweet out about it. As the title suggests, last weekend, my lovely girlfriend, Aki, she was hospitalized very suddenly. Basically, cut a long story short, she's okay now. She's out of the hospital. She's back home now, fully recovered. But I guess I wanted to talk about what had happened and why I've been kind of silent this past week. So really, it kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm sure Aki's going to talk about it on her channel as well, and I'll leave the link to her side of the story down in the description below. Obviously, please go and check it out and support her, because trust me, she has had a mega rough week this week. But essentially what had happened was this week she was kind of sick on and off with all sorts of different complications. Over in Japan here right now, ever since I think like the end of September, beginning of October, is a time that is kind of scary for a lot of Japanese people, because it's around the time where influenza really starts to kick in. So much so actually that in Japan, and a lot of places in Japan, they actually advise adults and kids and basically everyone to get their yearly influenza shots. But if you thought that Aki had caught influenza, no, that is actually not the case. Let's just say she caught everything other than influenza. It started off with like a really bad cold where she developed some amount of laryngitis, which is where your throat swells up, and it got so bad to the point where for like 3 or 4 days she couldn't speak at all. Like it was that swollen up. We obviously went to the doctor for it, you know, got the antibiotics, all that kind of stuff. And then immediately after she had recovered from her laryngitis, she had somewhat of a stomach problem. Basically like a bloating stomach problem. I don't know what the exact medical term for it is, but she was in a lot of pain. She had that for about a day or so, and then she got over that. And then immediately the next day, she called me up while I was at Trash Taste and told me that she was feeling extremely ill with a high fever, sweats, chills, basically all the side effects that are not good. We went to the clinic, got some antibiotics. That didn't really help at all, and it ended up with us having to take Aki to the emergency room because her chills and fevers and all that kind of stuff were getting really bad. After a quick diagnosis from the doctor, we found out that Aki had gotten what's called acute kidney infection. From what I heard from the doctor, a pretty common I guess illness that especially a lot of women can get. Now, I'm not a doctor, so please take this with a grain of salt when I explain everything. Obviously, this is just stuff that I learned throughout the week, and you know, stuff that I heard from doctors. But from my understanding, from my dumb brain understanding, acute kidney infection is essentially when a ton of bacteria that develops in your private parts from things like UTIs and other, you know, troubles that a lot of females out there go through. The bacteria that develops from there travels up your urinary tract into your kidneys, or rather it goes from your bladder to your kidneys, more specifically. And from there, the kidney houses this bacteria, and it can from there develop into all sorts of other really horrible illnesses, essentially. Now, again, from my understanding, the reason why it is more common with females is because, just biologically speaking, the length of the urinary tract in females is a lot shorter than that of men's. That's not to say that men can't get acute kidney infections and other illnesses like that, but just based on that biological difference of the length of the urinary tract, females being a lot shorter than the males, it's more common for females, excuse me, to contract. So that's essentially what Aki got, and at first we thought it had to do with like her stomach issues that she had the night before, or perhaps, you know, had connected to some of the laryngitis she had earlier in the week, but nope, it was just all a complete coincidence, essentially. And so we did like a blood test. We found that there was a lot of bacteria in her bloodstream, which obviously is a very bad thing. So upon the doctor's, I guess, advice, we decided to hospitalize Aki for a little bit. Now, what's really scary that I found out about this acute kidney infection is the other illnesses that could potentially lead to, one of them being this very scary illness called sepsis, which is essentially like the body's extreme response to an infection. Bacteria that has been festering inside of a single organ or some, contained part of your body, in Aki's case, the kidney, making its way out of the organ and into your bloodstream. And what's really scary is that this is essentially kind of like a chain reaction that could happen in your body. And they say, at least from what I saw, if you are diagnosed with sepsis, they say that you have like a 50% chance to survive. So it's essentially a coin flip, because when bacteria travels all throughout your body, that can cause your other organs to basically overload with bacteria. You can develop things like strokes, organ failures, and, again, as I mentioned earlier, with the 50% mortality rate, you can slip into a coma or just straight up die from it. And I didn't want to take any risks whatsoever. So when the doctor asked us, hey, do you want to, have her in the hospital and, put her on an IV, I immediately said yes, because when I heard about this and when I read about this whole sepsis thing, I was like, no, we're not fucking around anymore. This is some serious shit. And, the first couple of days were pretty scary, because obviously, as anybody who has been hospitalized before, anybody who has any kind of organ infection and things like that knows, or, has used antibiotics before, knows that it doesn't immediately fix the problem. Obviously, it takes a couple of days minimum for the antibiotics to actually kick in and do its work. So the first couple of days, it really didn't almost seem like Aki was getting better. But then obviously once the antibiotics did start to kick in, she was feeling a lot better. Her fevers were gone, her chills were gone, the body pains and aches were gone. After a couple of blood tests, after about 3 or 4 days, it was all good. Her fever was gone, her chills were gone, her pains were gone. She looked great. She was fully cleared of the kidney infection. So, we can wipe a sweat off our brow for that one. Now, the reason, obviously, I want to make this video is to obviously update you guys, because there was a ton of you guys over on Twitter and Instagram that were sending heartwarming messages to Aki while she was hospitalized and even after she was hospitalized. So for those guys, thank you so much. It really meant a lot to us, especially to Aki. We're just so fucking happy that, her and I have the best fucking fans in the world, and I say that with 100% sincerity. You guys are the fucking best, because I wouldn't want this to happen to even my worst enemy, if I'm being honest. It just seems absolutely horrible. And, again, if it had developed into something even more serious and even more life-threatening, then God knows how that would feel. Now, you're probably wondering, Joey, how the hell did Aki get this acute kidney infection? By the way, Aki realized while she was hospitalized, because she was, sitting in a hospital bed for 5 days, essentially. She had a lot of time to think about shit. She randomly, said, hey, isn't it kind of fucking ironic that acute kidney infection is Aki for short? I don't know whether to laugh or not, but that is pretty goddamn morbid. Essentially, how it happens, and, there's a lot of reasons why it happens, but as I mentioned earlier, for a lot of females, it happens as basically an evolution of a urinary tract infection, or a UTI, which, I think we can talk about openly on a video like this and talk to you guys about it, because, hey, we're all adults here. At least according to the analytics of this particular channel, the majority of you are in your adulthoods. So definitely, UTIs are very common, and they develop for all sorts of different reasons. It's something that is nothing to be ashamed of. People get it all the freaking time. But the other reason why it ended up going to the kidney is because Aki, as a person, does not drink enough goddamn water. You know that whole meme of girls don't drink enough water, and the guy or the boyfriend or the husband always asking, whenever a girl has a problem or some kind, a headache or anything like that, it's that meme of the boyfriend or the partner saying, did you drink water? Did you drink enough water? Turns out that meme has some truth to it, and there shouldn't be a gender disparity between these two things. Just because you're a girl doesn't mean you like water any less than a guy. It's just, for some reason, anecdotally and in the doctor's opinion, just girls in general just drink less water. They don't hydrate. All the hydro homies out there know we freaking love drinking water. We love hydrating ourselves. There's a reason why people always say, hey, make sure, did you drink enough water today? Did you hydrate today? Because it really is goddamn important. And I do like the fact that in our modern day internet society and, in the social media society, this whole, did you drink enough water or did you hydrate has become a meme, because inadvertently it has turned into like a really good PSA for just general well-being and health. Just drinking those 2 liters of water really does prevent so many different problems that could develop in your body, and Aki unfortunately learned that the hard way. So suffice it to say, she's drinking a hell of a lot more water now, which is a good thing, because everybody loves a hydrated person. And I guess that's like the final message I wanted to give in this video is just make sure you're hydrating. And, I know that sounds like a meme, but now I sincerely mean that. Like, please make sure to hydrate. Again, experts recommend that you should be drinking at least minimum 2 liters of water per day. I don't know how many gallons that is to you Americans. Look that shit up. Use the metric system, goddammit. But for the rest of you who are on the correct system, make sure to drink 2 liters of water a day. I know that might sound like a lot to some people. Just make sure that you're constantly just drinking small amounts of water throughout your waking life. It really does help with so many problems that you could really develop once you get older or even now. And I'm sure there's a ton of people watching this video right now who will definitely relate to that. If you have gotten yourself in a similar situation as Aki, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear your personal stories about it. But that was essentially our personal story about it. And yeah, just for you guys who were worried about Aki and all that kind of stuff, I just wanted to update you guys. She's fine now. She's doing good. She's resting well. She's hydrating like a motherfucker. And a little PSA to you guys, please drink water and please look after yourselves, because the body can just suddenly just flip on you and just cause you all sorts of different problems out of nowhere. So yeah, that was just my side of the story. If you want to hear Aki's side of the story, then I've left her video down in the description below. Should be up by the time this one is up, so make sure to check it out. Please go send her some kind-hearted and warm messages to her, because I'm sure she will greatly appreciate that. And look after yourselves, guys. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash my face right in the middle here to subscribe. Let's keep making big channel number go big. Over here next to my head, a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one. Links to my social media as well as my Patreon to support me directly, and nonsense.jp, my clothing line. Go check it out. We make dope shit. Links in the description, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.